Hey, 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 happy day 545. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma. Long story, I think we've talked about it at least 100 times in 500 days. Why I am the Pajama Grandma, drinking my red juice and my wakey coffee. Today, I want to talk a little bit about passing the buck. Passing the buck. I did this for my Supersize Your Business segment today. It's really interesting. I didn't know where this expression came from. It actually comes from poker and passing or American card games, and passing either a buckshot, a piece of ammo, or a knife with a buckhorn handle, which indicated a transfer of dealership. When it was your turn to deal, they would pass you a buckshot or a buckhorn handled knife to indicate that you were the dealer. So from poker it came from. And by 1900 it meant to shift responsibility for something. Now, I know I've known this expression my whole life, and it's interesting how common passing the buck is in human behavior, and it's really human nature. And it's interesting that it took till the 1900s before, I suppose probably because buck is a weird expression, but it's interesting. People have done this forever, passed on responsibility or given up their authority or responsibility or decision-making power. It's human nature, and we see it every day. We do it every day, right? I will make excuses for procrastinating. That's a form of passing the buck, because ultimately I am responsible for what does or does not get done in my life. Especially as a business owner, we are 100% responsible for everything that does or doesn't happen in our business. Now, I can probably hear people saying, oh my God, that's not the way it works. It really isn't true. It's so-and-so's fault. That's passing the buck, right? If I have a project and in my company, and I delegate and I work with team members to get it done, it's ultimately my responsibility whether that project gets done or not. If I pick the wrong team member and they don't hold up their end of the agreement and don't do what they say they're going to do, it's still my responsibility to get the overall project done. Whether, Jane does her part or not, it's still my responsibility to get it done. If Jane doesn't do her part, then it's my responsibility as the business owner and project leader to find another replacement for that activity, to make sure that it does get done, and to make sure it gets done in a timely manner. And that's a big mindset shift for a lot of people, a lot of us. Now, I feel like I kind of had an advantage because I, throughout my whole life, grew up with an entrepreneurial employee dad. My dad was both an employee of a big corporation in America and a business owner on the side. My whole life, he had different businesses that he was running. So when I grew up, I went to college and did that whole route and went to corporate America, but I also always had a business on the side. Sometimes more than one, but always at least one. And so I always had that ownership mindset, which not only helped me in my businesses, but it also helped me in my corporate career, because there's nothing more amazing and powerful than employees that have a business owner mindset, that take personal responsibility, that treat the business that they're working for as if it's their own. You have just a whole different way of looking at things. And it comes along with taking responsibility and knowing that it's up to you to make sure things happen and get done, and that the results get done, and not that you do everything, but that you keep an eye on the result and make sure that everything's tracking toward that result. So the buck stops here, which was made famous by Harry Truman in 1943 when he put that sign on his desk as president. It's so true in business ownership, but guess what? It's also 100% true in our lives. And I think that's the biggest thing that we forget, and that we don't necessarily want to face up to, is that our life, where we are right this very instant, no matter what is going on in our life, is 100% our responsibility. It's 100% up to us, and it's 100% our choice. Now, if you're like me and you've got chronic health issues and challenges, and I've got a new one coming up, you've got to ask yourself, and I'll sit down some things and I'll be like, really, is this my fault? And there's a difference between something being your fault or you deserve it, and it being your responsibility. things happen to us all the time, good things, bad things, and we decide whether they're good or bad. I've had some really, really bad things happen to me in my life, and I could have let them shut me down and I could not be here today because of them. But I decided that I would just change what they mean and what they meant to me and how I was going to respond and react to them. And by looking at them from a different perspective, I was able to learn something from those really, really bad situations. And by learning something, it made it possible for me to move forward and to continue moving on and creating the life I want. And it's a really hard thing. And to be honest, the vast majority of people on this planet will never understand that they create their own life, that we create our own lives, that we decide what everything means. And by how we think and how we feel and how we believe and the experiences we have and how we interpret them, we can choose how we want to live our life and how we want to respond to everything. Most people won't ever get to that level of personal responsibility. And I get that. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm guilty of things are going on around me that don't make me happy, and I blame things and I blame other people and I blame situations and I blame circumstances. But ultimately, I know when I look in the mirror at night that it is up to me to determine what I'm going to do with all that. Where I am sitting right now, this very minute, in my office, sipping wakey coffee in a corner that is cluttered with stuff because I'm in the midst of moving, I have to actually 100% admit that I created this whole mess, all of this clutter, all of this stuff, all of this hard work I'm having to do on this project. I 100% collected all the things that I have to deal with now. It's not anyone else's responsibility. And could I hire somebody and pass the buck and get them to just deal with it all and take it away? Yes. But would that be in my best interests? No, because I'm the one that needs to learn from the experience of and the consequence of being, okay, a hoarder, right? I'm not just a collector. I keep crap that nobody in their right mind would keep. And I'm not even going to say what some of the things are, because as I find them, I just laugh. I mean, I did a project in 2011. Okay, it's 2019, right? In 2011, I was losing the vision in my right eye, and I had lost vision in my left eye in, oh my God, 1980 something. I lost the vision in my left eye. And so in 2011, 2010, I had sudden cardiac arrest. 2011, that triggered, didn't die, thank goodness. So I died, but I didn't stick. And then in 2011, it triggered the inflammation in my right eye, and I started to lose the vision in my right eye. And I had surgery, and so I got a reprieve, and I got another 8 years out of my eye. Now it's failing again, but I still got 8 good years out of my eye. But when that happened, I couldn't see to do anything. So I made all these things I call blessings, these silly little things that kept me going because it was something I could do with my hands and I could actually do and create that made me feel like I was doing something, even though I really wasn't doing anything but busy crap. I couldn't watch TV, I couldn't read, I couldn't do any of the things that I like to do. I couldn't, I could listen to movies and things, but that was it. So while I was listening to movies actually I was watching The Secret. As I was watching The Secret, I was making these little blessing kits. And they're actually, this isn't one of them, but they're in these little envelopes, and they're just little things that I call blessings. They're not, they're not religious blessings. They're just little motivational things. I made like 1,000 of them. So in this giant cooler, as I'm moving and packing up, I have 1,000 of these little blessing kits that I've kept for 8 years. I mean, who does that? Who keeps something like that for 8 years? So I'll probably have a big bonfire and just burn them all, because what are you going to do with them? I never understood what I was going to do with them in the first place, but I did them. I made them all. And so I hung on to them for 8 years. I mean, really? And so that's something I can't pass the buck on. I can't pass the buck. I'm not going to take them with me to my next home. I'm not going to do anything with them. And so I'm not going to give them to charity, because nobody would even get it or understand what they are, because they have to have an explanation with them. So, it's things like that where you look and you're like, okay, I did that, but I am the one that has to learn from that experience. I'm the one that has to deal with that, because, somebody else would just throw it in a dumpster, and then I would miss the lesson. And the lesson is, let go of stuff that it doesn't make sense. It made sense at the time to do it because it kept me moving forward in my life. But it doesn't make any sense to move it along with me from place to place to place to place. It's like, let it go, let it go, let it go. I can start singing the song from Frozen. But no, I'm not, because my granddaughter says, don't sing. She says I have a bad voice. She's very, very open about it. Now that she's 4 and she's very eloquent, she lets me know in no uncertain terms that I should not sing. And somehow, as I'm doing this work with her and hanging out with her during the day, I break into song periodically about stuff that I'm packing up and cleaning up and organizing. So it's pretty funny. But passing the buck. We all do it. We all make excuses. We all give up our personal power and control. It's human nature. But as soon as we realize that the ultimate power, the ultimate joy in our life comes from regaining and taking back our personal power and control, the happier we are. I am a whole lot happier when I am saying, hey, I'm in control of my happiness. I am in control of how I feel about everything. And again, do bad things and good things happen in my life? Yes, they're absolutely positively going to continue to happen for the rest of my life. Nothing is certain in our lives except that shit is going to happen and we're going to have to deal with it. It just is. It just is. And you know, if you don't like swearing, I'm sorry. Every once in a while, Jam Grammar hauls out and swears every once in a while. Not a lot. I don't swear a lot. Usually when I get passionate or upset about something, which is only about once a day. And then I'll maybe curse, but not so much anymore. I think the older I get, the less I am about stuff. It's just in one ear and out the other. If it impacts me in a negative way, then I have to decide how I'm going to react to it. And usually I take a deep breath and I'm like, okay, what does this really mean? Because a lot of times we immediately emotionally react to something and it's an overreaction because it doesn't really mean hardly anything, but we let it mean things that are bigger than they really are. I had a discussion with my sister yesterday about that. You know, we think that little arguments and little disagreements are like the end of the world or the end of the relationship. And they're just not. They're just a little blip. And our life is full of little blips as we move through it. And we get to decide what all of them mean. So what am I working on? Because that's what we're here for as I transition from the brick and mortar world, the world of real businesses, to the online world. Working on the 90-day challenge. Today is day 85 already. I believe 85. Yep, 85. I only have 5 more days. More like 6 more days because I always do bonus days. 5 more days of the 90-day influencer live video challenge with the amazing Heather Ann Havenwood, Sexy Boss. Today we're talking about affiliations and affiliates and how you can use affiliates or be an affiliate to really skyrocket or put your influence on steroids, to really get out there and get known quickly. I mean, people that are nobodies can become affiliates and all of a sudden they're superstars in a realm or an area that they want to become an influencer in. I can think of hundreds and hundreds of examples of this, probably industry specific that you would have no idea what I'm talking about, and it doesn't matter, but I challenge you to think about in your industry or in your niche or whatever you call it, or in the group that, or the area of the people that you serve, think of the people that are the stars in that area, or the gurus, or the people on the mountain, or the influencers, or the people that everybody else is watching, and ask yourself, what are some of the ways that they got there? How did they become so well known? One of my favorite examples of this, of affiliations, is in the Hollywood industry and in the comedy industry in particular. Really successful comedians surround themselves with a group of other successful or other people, and together they all rise. I think of the show, oh my gosh, now I had a mind blank, never mind. I'll think of it as we're talking, but Adam Sandler is a huge example of this to me. Adam Sandler has a handful of friends and a handful of people that he makes movies with over and over and over again. And he's super duper successful, and part of that is because he brings his team with him. Now, I don't know if he would say that, but from the outside looking in, that's what it looks like. In a lot of instances, there's groups of comedians that do this. Back in the olden days when comedy was just, and comedy's been around a long time, but when TV comedy and things were going on, there's lots of examples of this, not just Adam Sandler surrounding himself with people, but other people that form teams like this. Think of Andrew Carnegie and that whole group, Henry Ford, that group of people. That is a really quick and easy way to become super successful. It's masterminding, but it's not masterminding. We're talking about affiliates, and really affiliates are more I am paying people a percentage of whatever sales and people they bring to me, and vice versa. So it's a really good way to become an influencer, to get known in your field and make money at the same time. I affiliate for a couple other people's products, not very many. I'm really picky about it, but products and services that I use and I've used for years, I don't have any problem recommending to people. And if I get a little percentage for bringing them people, I think that's perfectly okay. It's just like a referral fee in real estate or something. If I bring someone to another realtor, sorry, and they sell the house, give me a $500 referral fee. That's very, very common. It's also very common in a lot of other industries. It's when you get a discount for referring a friend. It's becoming more and more popular. It's the same kind of thing. So being an affiliate and having affiliates for your products and services is a really, really amazing, fast way to supersize and grow your business. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about being an influencer, and to really, skyrocket the speed at which you do that. One of the ways to do that is to be an affiliate or to have affiliates for your products and services. And I know I should do a lot more of it, because I really don't do hardly anything with it. And I absolutely positively should, because there are, there's products and services I've been using for years. I've been using ClickFunnels since 2017, since the beginning, I think February of 2017. And so why am I not out promoting and sharing that more? I forget about it, because it's so automatic that I use it every day. I don't even think to promote it or share it with other people, but I should be, because they've got a 40% commission. So why would I not share that with people? Crazy, right? And things like that. And I should think of other products and services that I use every day that would have promotions and promotability. Another one that I use and love is a rewards program for a company called Close By. Why am I not out promoting that every day? So don't get mad if you see me sharing that more often down the road. And don't feel like you have to use those products or services. Just know that they're available. And if you need or have questions about them, hey, I'm here to help you with them, because I've been using them for a long time. So being an affiliate, talking about that in the 90-day challenge. Again, the big move. I'm learning so much about myself as I do this move. And maybe that's why I put it off so long, as I didn't want to do that introspection and really say, oh yeah, I got these problems that I haven't been facing. Yeah, I am a hoarder. What the heck's up with that? What does that really mean in the overall scheme of my mindset and my psyche? Because it totally means things that I don't want to admit, right? It means that I have an element of lack and scarcity in my brain and in my mindset that I haven't let go of. Now, I'm in a massive way letting go of that. My goal is to get rid of, literally, downsize and get rid of 90% of the material things that I own. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm changing my lifestyle. It means I'm getting rid of all the clutter and the things that I've been holding on to that feel like weight. They feel like heavy, because they're just things that I move around. I'm keeping the 10% that is the most important and that makes me happy and brings me joy. And I'm getting rid of all the rest. And I'm not just dumping it in a dumpster. I'm giving it away to other people that can benefit from it, right? The ex-husband and I have had several discussions about this, because when we would go in and do a property, we had a rehabbing business together, and we would go in and do it. He would just get a big dumpster, and everything in the place would get dumped and in the trash. And even neighbors would come over and say, oh, you should be giving that to charity, going to Goodwill. And we're like, have at it. He would be like, have at it, go for it. If you want anything to take to charity, or call a charity to have them come and get it, have them come and get it. But I've got this project, I've got a deadline, I need to get it done as quickly as possible to turn it around and turn it over. So I don't have time to sort through other people's lives and other people's stuff. I'm just getting rid of it all. And that has been our philosophy in the past. And it's easy to do with other people's stuff. It's super duper hard to do with your own stuff. I watched my mom do it. My dad died 4 years ago. And about a couple years before that, I don't remember how many years, but a few years before that, they moved out of the house they'd been in for 40 some years to another house down the road. It was like 5 houses down the road, but they moved and sold their property. And then when my dad died, my mom moved out of that house into a temporary situation, and then she bought another house. But she lived in a temporary situation and put things in storage. And to watch her downsize and go through this, I should have learned the lesson then and started then. But of course I didn't. I was passing the buck and making excuses and putting things off and procrastinating and not dealing with who I really am, and saying, okay, there's some personal development, personal improvement areas to be made here. I was putting it off. And so now I'm dealing with the same thing. And again, it's very introspective. You learn a lot about yourself when you move, and it's good. It's hard, but it's good to face up to things and say, yeah, maybe not the best use of my time and resources. And you let things go and know that they're blessing other people, and that other people can benefit from my stuff that I'm not using anyway. Let's be honest, I'm not using anyway. I don't even know how many 55-gallon bags of clothes that we've taken to Goodwill. I lost count at about 12. And that's not the first trip that I've taken that is this move. I do it every year. I do that. And I'm like, okay, well, I wear bathrobes or pajamas in my videos, so how many of these clothes do I really need? Now, I get dressed when I go out to do consultations, and I get dressed. Now, I don't always get dressed when I'm doing my video conferences with coaching students. I'm usually in pajamas too, or a robe or a casual shirt or something. So, and that's my choice. That's my new lifestyle choice. So do I need any business suits? No. I think I kept one. The rest are gone. Do I need a lot of things? No, gone. You know, just, do I even want them? If I need them, I'll go get them again. I don't need a closet full of things I don't use. I got a closet that's the size of most people's bedrooms. So, and not little bedrooms, right? A big bedroom. So it's time to just let the things go that we don't need, that I don't need. It's, each of us have to decide what we need and don't need. I have a lot of stuff that I can let go of and don't need. And it's actually making me feel lighter, at least emotionally lighter, as I work through these different things. So I know I talk about this a lot. I'm sorry. As soon as I'm done with it, I will stop talking about it, because it's not that important to you probably, but it does indicate to us all that there's things in our life that we're not looking at, we're not dealing with, that we're putting off, that maybe if we just took a look at them and dealt with them, they'd be a lot easier than we ever thought. I mean, this is hard, but it's still a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It's not nearly as emotional as I thought it was going to be. And I thought I'd be crying and sad over stuff, and I'm like, nah, this stuff can go. I haven't looked at it in 5 years or 10 years. It's definitely out of here. And it's just stuff. It's just material things. It's just things that I don't want my kids to have to deal with when I die someday. I mean, because, heaven forbid should I have died and when I had that sudden cardiac arrest, my poor family, oh my God, they would have had to get rid of a lot of junk. And then I had my ex-husband back then, so he just would have thrown it all in a dumpster anyway, and it would have been easy, I guess. Easy for them. All right, I'm done. Go out, make it an awesome day. I'm going to do my 90-day challenge before my amazing 4-year-old granddaughter gets here. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Take care. If I can help you in any way, just hit me up in the comments below or message me. Take care.